Hello everyone. So today we are going to take up a good CET topic, that is limits. Here are a few important points which we should consider before beginning with the questions, and that is limit fx when x tends to c. And if fx and gx we are having a rational function, both of which are 0 or both of which are undefined, 0 by 0 form or undefined, then we can use L'Hospital's rule, that is differentiate the numerator, differentiate the denominator. You can do this as many times unless and until we can substitute the limit and it is no more 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form. Then the other one is, if again we are taking a rational function, but in this case, because when you substitute the limit as a, limiting value as a, the denominator does not become 0, you can directly substitute the limit. And the most important of this is the sandwich theorem, which we have is three functions here, hx less than or equal to fx less than or equal to gx, where x is common value. It is in the domain of h as well as f as well as g. When we find the limiting value of hx when x tends to a and that of gx, and if both the values are equal to L, then the function which is in between, that's we say sandwiched in between, will also have the same limit. So these are the three important points. Besides this, we have the formulas. Let us see them. Now we have a few important formulas here. Limit of e raised to x when x tends to 0. So it is e raised to 0, which is 1. And if it is x tends to infinity, then e raised to infinity, a very large number which will tend to infinity. If x tends to minus infinity, then it is e raised to minus infinity, which means 1 upon e raised to infinity, or it is tending to 0. And these are a few more formulas which you should note before we begin with the questions. So with the concepts and the formulas done, let us begin with the first question. Limit x tends to minus 1 minus means we are looking for the left hand limit. That also means value smaller than minus 1. So let's take this limit x tends to minus 1 minus. We'll put the summation outside because the summation is for I and the limiting value is for x. So we'll take this here. And that makes it summation I is 2000 to 2009, and since it is left hand limit, we'll take h tends to 0. That means a value smaller than minus 1, which is minus 1 minus h. This is a form where the denominator is non-zero, that's 1 over here. Indirectly put h as 0, minus 1 minus I. Minus common, and the modulus will make it positive value 1 plus I. So summation 2000 to 2009 of 1 plus summation 2000 to 2009 of I. Calculate this. Summation of this 2000 to 2000 will be 10 plus over here it is 2000 2001, and you continue until 2009. So you find out the answer. You can do it in this way, like we can write this is 2000 and this is 2000 plus 1 and so on, or we can simply add it. So this calculation will be 2000 and calculate for 5. So that is going to be 20055, and that's option B. We can calculate this. If not in this manner, we can take 2000 plus 2000 plus 1 and simplify in the same way up till 2000 plus 9. So we have 2000 10 times, 2000 into 10 plus 1, 2 up till 9, because the next term here will be 2000 plus 2. So it is 20,000 plus 9 into 9 plus 1, how the formula is n into n plus 1 by 2. So this is one way you can do it, or you can add as you want to do. Answer is 20,055. Okay, the second one is limit n tends to infinity. So, and as you can see, this is summation 1 to n square. So let's put the formula. Limit n tends to infinity. The formula for this is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6 and n cube in the denominator. Whenever we have limit tending to infinity, we should take common and cancel it. So we are taking n cube common, that is n from here and one more n from here. So n cube will get cancelled. Now put the value. If n tends to infinity, then 1 upon n will tend to 0. So we have 1 plus 0 into 2 plus 0 upon 6. And that gives us 1 by 3. And that's options. For infinity kind of questions, we should take common and cancel the highest exponent. Okay. Okay, the third one is limit n tends to infinity, r is to n is 0. We have to find what value of r from this will be the appropriate value. The first thing we notice is, because when n is a very large number and our answer is coming 0, that means r should be a fractional value which is between 0 and 1. Okay. So let's see which value is between 0 and 1 from here. Obviously this 4 by 5 is a value which is between 0 and 1. This is 1 point something, this is 2, this is 3, so option is A. That's a direct answer. You just have to see, because it is raised to a very large number, that means it should be 0 point something. If it is 0.1 and it is raised to infinity, it will become 0.000 and that will tend to 0. This value of r should be between 0 and 1. To the next fourth question. Limit x tends to 1, cos inverse, and as you can see, it is 1 minus root x upon 1 minus x. Very clear that we can use 1 minus root x square and 1 square, so that we can apply a square minus b square in the denominator. Why did we think of this? Because when you put 1, it is going to be 0 by 0, and whenever it is 0 by 0, you either substitute the formula or you simplify it. Any one of the formula of limit, or you have to simplify. So over here we are applying a square minus b square. A 1 minus root x, a minus b term would cancel. Now you see, if we put the limit, it's non-zero, so we can do that. Substitute 1 upon 1 plus root 1, that is 2. And which value is it? Cos inverse 1 by root 2 is for 1 by 2 is for angle pi by 3, 60 degree. Because cos 60 degree is half, so cos inverse half is 60 degree or pi by 3. To question number 5. Now this is limit x tends to minus 3, and it says that the limit exists. We are supposed to find it. In such questions, let us first check whether this is denominator is 0. So substitute minus 3 and let us check. Instead of x, we will write minus 3. So this becomes 9 minus 6 minus 3, 0. And if limit exists and if the denominator is 0, that means the numerator also has to be 0. In other words, it should be 0 by 0 form. And therefore, the numerator will be 0 when we substitute for x equal to minus 3. So let's put minus 3 here, plus a into minus 3 plus a minus 7, and get the value of a. So this is 27 minus 3a plus a, or rather it is 20 is equal to 2a. A is equal to 10. So it's option A is equal to 10. The simple rule of for the basic idea of limit, that if the denominator is 0 and limit exists, then numerator also has to be 0. It has to be 0 by 0 form. So that's what we apply here. The next one, it's a trigonometric question, and as you see, suppose if we put pi by 6, the value, the numerator and the denominator both will become 0. This is 0 by 0 form, and we can solve this by L'Hospital's rule. That means we can differentiate the denominator as well as the numerator. So what is the derivative of this? 2 sin x, sin square x is 2 sin x, and sin x derivative cos x. Same here, and derivative of 1 0. Follow the same in the denominator, that is differentiate each and every term that we have here. Now once again substitute pi by 6 and see. If it becomes non-zero, we can find it. If not, you can differentiate it again. So this is actually, simplify it a little bit more, 2 sin 2x plus cos x, 2 sin 2x minus 3 cos x. And let's put the value now. Let's put the value and see if it is becoming 0 or not. If it doesn't become 0, then we can get the value, and if it becomes 0, then we can use L'Hospital's rule again. So I'm putting the value, 2 sin 2 into pi by 6 is pi by 3 plus cos pi by 6. Same down there. And as we know, the value of sin pi by 3 is root 3 by 2. So I'm going to put root 3 by 2 here. And cos pi by 6 is also root 3 by 2. 2 into root 3 by 2 minus 3 root 3 by 2. Now you can calculate this and see what the answer is. Okay. Just put the answer in the comment box and then we can check it out. The next question now. Its limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos 2x upon x square and sin 5x upon sin 3x. Now 1 minus cos 2x formula we know is, yes, it is 2 sin square x upon x square. And over here you can use sin theta upon theta form, that is divide by 5x multiply by 5x. Same here, divide by 3x multiply by 3x. But it's going to be finally 5 by 3. So I'm going to put it straight away. Whenever you have questions like this, whether it is sine or tan, you can directly put the constants with the angle. That is going to be your final value. And sin x upon x, the whole square is 1. So we have 2 into 1 into 5 by 3. That's 10 by 3. Okay, so this is a direct method. Just pick this up. That will be your answer. So it's 10 by 3. Yeah, now it is limit x tends to pi by 2, a raised to cot x minus a raised to cos x upon cot x minus cos x. So since it is a raised to, we can recall our formula of limit h tends to 0, a raised to h minus 1 upon h, which is log a to the base e. Okay, so it is limit x tends to pi by 2. Let's check. Is this cot pi by 2 minus cos pi by 2? 0. Yes, it is. So what we will do is, we will take a cos x common from the numerator, and this will become a cot x upon a cos x, or rather a cot x minus cos x, and nothing is left here, so 1 it is, and that makes it of the form a raised to h minus 1 upon h, because this value is 0, and so this becomes log a raised to cos pi by 2 into log a to the base e, putting the limiting value, and cos pi by 2 is 0, so a raised to 0, or we can simply write it as log a to the base e. Now a similar question, it is a raised to x minus b raised to x upon a raised to x minus 1, x tends to 0. So the same formula can be thought of over here, that is limit x tends to 0 of a raised to x minus 1 upon x. is log a to the base e, and if it is e raised to x, it is going to be log e to the base e, so 1. That's why what we need here is we need x in the denominator if we are supposed to apply the formula. So we will divide the numerator and the denominator both by x. So this becomes a raised to x. Now you want minus 1, so let's subtract this, and over here also we will write minus 1. So that becomes minus of minus plus 1 and minus 1. In other words, we have subtracted 1 and we have added 1. Putting limit for all the terms here, we have log a to the base e minus log b to the base e upon 1, or it is log a upon b to the base e. The options were log a by b and log ab, log a plus log b, and b was log a plus. So yes, we got log a by b to the base e. So whenever you have a raised to kind of term, you can think for this formula and apply it. Here we are having a determinant question with limit over here, and we want to find fx upon x square. So we need to expand the determinant and divide it with x square, or if we just take in upon x square within the determinant, then you have to think which row or which column will you divide with x square. I am going to divide the second row with x first, so that it will become non-zero, otherwise it would have been 0, 0, 0. And we also see that this is sin x upon x, we can get that. Sin x upon x. Now I am dividing the first column with x. First we divided the second row with x, and then we divided the first column with x. Second row with x and first column with x, and then. So this is finally what we get. Now we can put the limit. Since it should not be 0 by 0 form, that's why. Or else you can expand it, right? So putting limiting value here, sin x upon x is 1, cos 0 is 1, tan 0 is 0. This has become now x, so it is 0, 0, 1, and 2, 1, 1. Now you can expand and get the value. Put your answer in the comment box. For more videos on Good CET and any topic of maths for class 11 and 12, subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. Thank you.